Chapter 46. She runs north, hiding underneath the leaves as she listens out for tremors. Aziza doesn't have any fading jennies on her person, so the tall trees will have to serve as her protection. Thankfully, the Franticor's stomps are no longer heard, most likely on the other side of the plains. From the brief time she has gone out on expeditions with the others, she has learned that the wandering beast has a schedule it follows like clockwork. As long as she remembered the patterns correctly, the land of the northeast was safe. However, in return, the monsters tend to come out, large and brutal ones. This wasn't going to stop Aziza. She was so close now. The checkpoint holds the answer she has been seeking for all this time. Nothing would stop her. The air, like always, is cold. The sound is quiet. Only her steps through the black grass sound. The path before her is dark like an ocean abyss, but she has made certain to remember the path as the nearby flowing water was an indicator of rightful progression. The path soon opens up to a beautiful lake connected by the forest river, surrounded by the dead flat land. Zoma has brought ruin to this place years ago. While she is exposed to the moon as she approaches the lake, the curse of Zoma's destruction doesn't strike her. He seems to have other concerns, or rather the skeptical people of this land will say anything to avoid confrontation with the outside world. Perhaps the fall of their hero has garnered more fear of Zoma's might. By the lake are worn and ripped tents, still standing on the flat land of dirt. Supplies such as rations, weapons, cooking utensils, and documents lay scattered along the ground. Aziza didn't have time to rummage through the things before, but now things were different. No longer held back by the fear of others, any monster brave enough to disrupt her goal was foolish to face her wrath. She digs through the items, hopping in between the different destroyed structures. Most of the things along the site are worn or broken. The tomes and documents are barely legible due to age. Yet strangely, some of the writings are crystal clear, but the words are unlike anything she has seen. She freezes for a moment as she stares at the foreign text. Where have I seen this before? The text doesn't look to be written in pen. It's almost like it was drawn through the use of magic. However, she didn't have time to ponder. Though she was willing to fight beyond her limits if the occasion arose, she had to find the truth. It's what she has been searching for. She finds more weapons and tools, even a few instruments. Finally, among the rubble, something catches her eye. A milky white light, glimmering in one of the abandoned tents. She turns to it to find a large rock, with color and sheen like a stainless mirror. Its captivating light draws her in, like a fishing hook. She walks into the shade of the tent. There it sits, alone on a table. The largest tent in the camp looks to be a war room with several seats around the table and many charts and torn maps on its surface. She touches it carefully. It's an extremely hard metal which radiates a profound strength, like an intense eruption from a volcano, similar to Orochi's orb she briefly held. The weight is far beyond what it looks as she struggles to lift it slightly above its stand. The weight is too much, and she drops it. The table below snaps in half, scattering all the papers like a storm blew in, and a loud, thunderous crack pierces through the sky. She dives to a corner, afraid of what attention she drew from the outside. She waits with her sharpened blades in hand, but nothing responds. The daggers she held were gifts by the scouts, only to be used to scavenge resources as they are brittle and prone to break against an opposing force. Again, she doesn't care. If one blade shall break, she will use another, and another, as she carries an arsenal of knives in many pockets of her apparel. Lastly, she has another trick if the need arises, thanks to the researchers at Cantilne, a bomb which will produce a burst of smoke. Slowly she rises back up, placing the daggers in her sheath. She hits her head on a shelf and the shock startles her. She rubs her head and makes eye contact with an old heavy box on a flimsy shelf, thankful her blundered in and caused it to crash onto her. Her eyes widen. I know this box. With haste, she snaps the box open and her assumption was correct. Inside were old toys and crafts Aziza used to have as a child. Her parents promised her that they would hold on to them until they were reunited, back when she left Thedon. Most of her dolls are soot-stained or torn, but her mind is able to look past their flaws, gently placing them back in the box. They were here. She shuffles her hand inside and grabs something to her surprise. A sealed letter. Unlike everything else, it's untouched by time, pure white like clouds. The front reads, "To Aziza." She scratches it open, trying to keep the envelope in good condition, but the old paper tears away with ease. She looks at the words. It's her mother's writing. How long has it been, my sweet child? Your father and I have arrived safely in the world of Alfgard. We have taken positions in the old town of Rimmuldar. From what we learned, this part of the region used to belong to fairies, magical people who are in the old storybooks we used to read you. Most aren't around anymore, but we would love to see one and hopefully be able to tell you in person. Your father and I miss you so much. I hope everything in Aliahan is doing well for you. Ortega has updated us on how you've gotten along nicely with his kids. It makes me so happy for you to be treated like family. It's friends like them who will keep your chin up when the going gets tough. We would know. Your father also wanted you to have his pendant, saying you can connect the two together to make them pretty and a physical representation of our love for you. We love you, Aziza. Stay strong. We are always in your heart no matter where we are. Love, Mom and Dad. Ortega used to bring letters to her when he found time to visit Aliahan. Seems he never got the chance to deliver this one, likely for the reason they were unable to return to Alfgard, stuck in a world consumed by fear. However, the worst of her fear has been proven a reality. They are gone. With this letter and the pendant it carries as proof of their final stand. She searches the envelope to find the missing piece of the pendant. Her eyes brim with tears as she holds it up close, undisturbed by the cruel fate of time. It still shines like the last day she saw them. She removes her pendant from her chest pocket, one pristine while the other damaged beyond repair. She brings them together. A peaceful click sounds. The pieces are now whole again. How long has it been since I heard that sound? She takes the heart-shaped pendant and brings it to her chest. You're right, Dad. It is pretty, she thought. I wish you and Mom could see it. The pendant and I are one and the same. We were both loved and deeply treasured. Her sadness, her grief grows into an uncontrollable rage as she squeezes it tightly. Did you find what you were looking for? A voice from the outside said. She knows that voice and steps out from the corner of the tent to the entrance. Standing alone upon the land of ruin with a half-filled sack on his waist was Isamu. He has no playful smile like before. The concern on his face is almost frightening. Zoma killed them, Isamu. They are gone. I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was a way we could have prevented this. The silence in the air is nerve-wracking. At every corner there are footsteps from the Franticore or wild animals in the trees, but now there is nothing. How did you know I was here? She asked. The scouts told me of their discovery, and I connected the dots. All this stuff that lies before us, he says, looking around the campsite. It belonged to them, didn't it? Her silence was deafening. The boiling of her blood carried her rage. She knows the castle is close, and her mind and heart are in agreement. I'm going to kill him. She places the pendant in her pocket, stepping forward. Where are you going exactly? Zoma's castle sits on the west, on an island by itself. I'm not running anymore. I got what I wanted and I no longer hold fear. I'm taking the fight to him. Only then can I be at peace. He steps in her path, his eyes full of sorrow. Get out of my way, Isamu. she ordered, trying to move past him, but he continued to block her like a moving wall. I can't let you. We are going back to Cantiln. She huffs. What happened to you, Isamu? You were so keen on taking out the Archfiend, and now you hesitate like everyone else. You don't understand, Aziza. Then tell me, she shouted, stepping back. Why are you so reluctant to press forward? You led that army to victory. You were courageous, confident, and swift with action. We were right there, and now you're giving up the fight? I was foolish. What you call courageous, confident, and swift were haste and carelessness. My actions nearly got everyone killed. My thirst for Baramos' death was boundless, and I was willing to throw your life away to end him. She flinches, looking deep at the saddened man, his arm held close to him. What happened on that day, Isamu? He sighs. Grandma was killed by my hand. She told me to finish her lifelong mission. I was set to get it done, but Fedir and I couldn't agree. I hated him for what he said, still holding on faith to the goddess. Somehow she was going to fix everything. It wasn't until I was alone that I tried to understand his view. I now know that when Grandma died, I still had family to fall back on, and I almost threw it away. Are you giving up then? Is this your way of atoning? We're the only ones standing now. Are you truly going to wait as Zoma brings more destruction to the world, clinging on to some better option that may never come? I don't know, but what I do know is that I cannot let you tackle Zoma alone. I cannot let the people I care about repeat the same mistakes. The burden is too much for one person to bear. Are you going to stop me? He raises his arm up, his eyes narrow. The way he is ready to battle is unlike his training within the last week. There is a fire in his eyes and a will to fight, the kind of spirit needed to storm Zoma's castle. If you won't listen to words, then I will use actions, since they are all you see. She draws her daggers from her waist. They shine in the bright moonlight. She leans forward, eyes on him. Zoma is going to pay for his brutality, and if I must get through you, then so be it. She was going to carve Zoma's skull clean from his neck. The determination was lit with a blazing fire in her heart, and nothing was going to hold her back. She throws a dagger at him, and he evades with a tilt of his head, his stance unfazed by her strike. She lunges forward, swinging her dagger, but he moves out of her path like wind. Even with a broken arm, he is able to push her back with fierce kicks, occasionally catching her arm and with his and returning her strikes. Even when he speaks of losing his strength, the way he fights is beyond what she has seen prior. The man before her wasn't fighting with rage like before, but resolve. She's pushed back by a kick to the stomach. She kneels to the ground, covered in sweat. He still stands tall. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a small bomb, throwing it to the ground. A pool of gray smoke scatters across the campsite. She is invisible as she scampers. Start to utilize smoke bombs in your kit? He asked. It's a good way to hide from prying eyes. A fist drives towards her and she easily evades, lacerating his arm. As his arm withdraws into the smoke, she latches onto it, pulling her weight to the ground, but he doesn't budge. The smoke clears and his face winces, teeth gritting as she pulls him, his blood spilling into the soil. He sees her, lifting her up, slamming his head into hers. She crashes to the ground, head throbbing as she holds it. The pouring blood from Isamu's arm slides down to his elbow as he readies his stance, his face back to calm. Aziza holds her head in thought. How is he still standing? You can't win against me, Aziza. I have too much to lose. Do you understand that if I let you go, the look on Hotaru and Fedir's faces, how cruel do you have to be to have me suffer like that? Listen to me. I want to stop Zoma too, but my way isn't right. It never has been. Remember what we said at the beginning, when we left Aliahan? Her breathing is heavy as the words come out. We were coming home together. You remember our promise, because you still believe them, and so do I. Let's go back to Cantiln. Let's find our friends, our family, and I promise your parents' death won't be in vain, just like Grandma." She stares into his eyes. They are hurt. Tears drip down his face like the blood on his arms. Every fiber of her being is telling her to not let this chance slip by. Zoma must be stopped now. It's what Pimiko, Ortega, and her parents were fighting for. She had to finish what they started to give their deaths meaning, to bring peace to all the unfortunate souls who lost their lives to the calamity he had wrought. But deep in her heart, suppressed by her rage, he was right. She longed for her friends, and while she believed that they were gone, she can't bring herself to believe it. In the same way, she held out hope for her parents. Every night in this new world, tears flooded her eyes. Nothing made sense. Everything was gone, the letter being the final nail in the coffin. She had nothing left to lose to Zoma. But Isamu, how he fought and what he believed, was right. He had to be, for her sake. Her eyes brim with tears once more. "Okay, let's go back," she sniffled, her hand shaking. Letting go of her weapon, it implants itself into the dirt. He steps over and a gun cocks. Quickly they spin around to find a hooded man with a flintlock pistol pointed at them. Underneath the hood, he has a grizzled face that is intimidating, and his eyes are sunken. He wears a large gray cloak that covers his body, only exposing his brown boots. Aziza stands behind Isamu and he holds his fist close, though his breath is weak, blood still pouring. He steps forward, staring at the nasty gash in his arm. A deep voice echoes in the silence. "Come."